Companies say it's more like blackmail, and Congress is trying to legislate a solution. Paris City of Lights is also becoming the city of computer games. We'll take a look at some hot new titles coming out of Europe's entertainment software industry. And there is nothing mousy about these new mice. Now you can point and click by waving your hand or tapping your toe. If anything moves faster than electrons through computer chip, it may just be the rise and fall of stock prices for companies in Silicon Valley. But when a stock's price drops and an investor loses money, is it fraud or is it just the volatility of a cutting-edge market? That question is at the heart of a proposed new federal law that would limit expensive investor lawsuits. Craig Heaps tells us more.
The hottest topic in Silicon Valley these days is not the latest computer chip, but what happens in court when the chips are down. In the past few years, high-tech companies have faced a rash of class action lawsuits for fraud, filed by investors who say they lost money when executives made glowing predictions only to watch the stock nosedive. The American Electronics Association says 6 out of 10 Silicon Valley companies have faced such class action suits. One report puts the average settlement at $11 million.
The settlements are viewed generally by technology companies as legalized blackmail because they don't believe that they did anything wrong, but to make the suits go away and to avoid further costs associated with a trial and a risk of a trial, companies settle.
Many Silicon Valley executives consider lawyer Bill Lerach to be their worst legal enemy. He's won hundreds of millions of dollars in judgments and settlements by suing high-tech companies for investor fraud.
There's been a lot of taking advantage of ordinary investors by corporate insiders who are paid through stock options and have every incentive to inflate the price of their company's stock.
Lerach is strongly against the proposed Securities Litigation Reform Act now in Congress. It would require plaintiffs in such suits to prove executives intended to defraud investors. Lerach calls it the Crooks and Swindlers Protection Act.
It's going to mean an end to the notion that honesty is the coin of the realm in the United States markets.
If a company misrepresents its actual performance, nothing in this legislation affects in any way the ability of the plaintiffs to bring a lawsuit for securities fraud.
Another provision of the act would do away with making one defendant pay 100% of the judgment if other defendants could not pay. That legal doctrine allowed David and Pat Thomas to recover hundreds of thousands of dollars when they sued a bankrupt investment firm and its financial advisors.
It'll make it harder for the little guy to make any recovery of losses in case of fraud.
Both sides are pressuring President Clinton. Several top Silicon Valley executives, many of whom supported Mr. Clinton in the last election, joined in a letter encouraging him to sign the bill. But many labor and consumer groups urge a veto.
I think if President Clinton values the state of California in the 1996 election, he's much better advised, ethically and politically, to choose in favor of small savers and small investors.
The House and Senate are now working on a compromise version of the Securities Litigation Reform Act. Supporters hope to have the bill on the president's desk by Thanksgiving. Craig Heaps for CNN, San Francisco.
I'm Leon Harris with a look at this week's computer news. 20 websites are winners of the second annual Best of the Net Awards. The awards were sponsored by the new online service GNN. They honored one professional and one amateur website in each of 10 categories, ranging from personal finance to food and wine. In the professional internet navigation category, Jerry Yang and David Filo's Yahoo Guide to the Internet won the top award. The crowd also honored journalist and electronic frontier pioneer Esther Dyson as Netizen of the Year. She was unable to attend the event. This is the Internet. This is the Internet with Shockwave. Macromedia is demonstrating a new multimedia enhancement for the World Wide Web. It allows multimedia presentations made with the company's popular Director software to be seen on the Internet. The new technology promises to give cyberspace a facelift with high-impact interactive presentations, including sound and animation. Shockwave for Director will be integrated into popular Internet browsers made by Microsoft, Netscape, Navisoft, and silicon graphics. Sun Microsystems has introduced its new ultra-computing workstation. Sun claims it's the fastest desktop computer on the planet, giving users supercomputer-class technology in a workstation environment. The system offers very fast graphics manipulation and advanced networking capability, and it's designed for power users in industry, medical, and university research centers. I'm Leon Harris.
And coming up, for entertainment, there are few cities in the world to rival Gay Paris. And that is now starting to include software entertainment as well.
Concentre-toi et n'hésite pas à demander de l'aide.
The CNN Computer Connection is brought to you by Intel, the world's leading maker of microprocessors, and by Canon, who reminds you there's so much more you can do with a new color bubble jet printer from Canon.
This is Jack. He's learning about airplanes on a PC with an Intel Pentium processor inside. The Pentium processor has the power to make software look, sound, and feel more real, which lets Jack's imagination really take off. The Intel Pentium processor.
It's color printing, and it's state-of-the-art. It's flyers. It's proposals. It's Crayola and Hallmark Connection software. And putting your very own logo on a t-shirt. So it's not business as usual. It's what you can do with a new Canon color bubble jet printer. Canon, what can you do?
Do you use ordinary Johnson's baby powder on your foot itch?
Your feet tend to sweat and get itchy and irritated. Johnson & Johnson, I think that's more like a baby powder. I just put on the Gold Bond powder and it has that medicated feeling.
Unlike ordinary powders, Gold Bond's triple action formula has the absorbing action of powder, plus the medicating action of a proven itch fighter and the drying action of zinc oxide.
Gold Bond has that fresh, clean, tingly feeling. I lost the itch right away.
Gold Bond, more than a powder, it's medication.
The revolutionary new Timex Data Link watch uses light beams to transfer dates and data from your computer to your wrist with just a touch of your paw. Pretty smart, eh? The Timex Data Link watch.
Computer users might think that most of their game software originates in Los Angeles, Seattle, or San Francisco, and rightly so, since those cities are at the very heart of the computer software business worldwide. But while not a big threat as of yet, a major European capital is developing a big reputation as well. Either in person, in travel posters, or in dreams, you have been here before. Paris, a city of past glories in a nation of many modern achievements. And in the heart of France grows an embryonic entertainment software industry. Embryonic compared to the heft of the United States production, but powerful across Europe, and an industry already making sales inroads into game-hungry North America. Delphine has just released Fade to Black. It's an interactive 3D sequel to the award-winning adventure game called Flashback. The hero here is Conrad, whom you follow as he tries to save the world from a nasty race of evil aliens called Morphs. The game has plenty of action, but the player needs to think, to solve puzzles. Delphine was founded in 1976 by Paul de Senneval, its flamboyant chairman. De Senneval says he aims for quality and interactivity in his games.
What is special about them is that they are treated like interactive movies. The music is also adding something special to the game, because the player feels like he can be in a movie theater.
A team of 40 people designed the action game around the movements of an electronically wired live actor. For a computer game, the results are close to lifelike. Fade to Black is available for PCs and the Sony PlayStation, and early next year for the Nintendo Ultra 64. Another French software powerhouse is an 11-year-old company called Cocktail Vision. And to appreciate some of the creative humor of its popular Addy line of children's educational software, you don't need to speak French. But if you want to try, this French software is a great way to learn.
The most important thing we do is give the pleasure in learning. The graphics are very good, and we also make it simple for the child to work on the computer. The ergonometry of our games is very good.
Thanks to a recent partnership agreement with the big American producer Sierra, Cocktail Vision software is now sold in the U.S. and in every major country in Europe in as many as 8 languages. When asked how France grew to become an important European software center, Cocktail's president traced it back to a French-built business computer.
Thomson is a French company. They did a computer 10 years ago.
Oskian says only French companies worked on that French computer, but there was no French software.
There was a real market without any products coming from anywhere.
And so that little display of French nationalism on a French computer helped to spawn the French software industry. So get ready, world. Whether you speak English, German, Spanish, or even Romanian, try out some slick new French software for a nice change of pace. Brian Nelson, CNN reporting. From Europe to the Far East, the computer software business is indeed becoming international. Coming up next on the CNN Computer Connection, we visit a man who has carved out a unique niche in Singapore. And later, the first glimpse of a mouse, a computer mouse whose place is right underfoot.
This is Jack. He's learning about airplanes on a PC with an Intel Pentium processor inside. The Pentium processor has the power to make software look, sound, and feel more real, which lets Jack's imagination really take off. The Intel Pentium processor.
Nature makes flowers beautiful. At 1-800-Flowers, we've developed a way to make them last. Our florists use a special 10-step freshness care system, a process that increases water absorption by the flowers and provides the necessary nutrients. That's why at 1-800-Flowers, we can guarantee your arrangements will stay fresh for a week. In our business, when people tell us we're fresh, we say thank you. Just call our name or visit our stores.
It's color printing, and it's state-of-the-art. It's flyers. It's proposals. It's Crayola and Hallmark Connection software. And putting your very own logo on a t-shirt. So it's not business as usual. It's what you can do with a new Canon Color Bubble Jet printer. Ken, what can you do?
Monday on CNN's Burden of Proof. Should O.J. Simpson's civil suit deposition be made public? He says no. Do you have the right to hear his story? The arguments, Monday, 12:30 Eastern on CNN.
Sunday on Late Edition, The Deadline. I'm Frank Sesno. The U.S. government could shut down in the next few days. What will it mean for you? And can the President and the Congress avert the train wreck? With your phone calls, Sunday, 5 p.m. Eastern on CNN.
You have probably heard of Asian hardware manufacturers with names like Acer, Toshiba, and Canon. But when asked about Asian software makers, you could draw a blank. Well, a small company in Singapore is hoping to change all that. As CNN's Tom Mantier reports, this company in question was founded in India, moved to Singapore, and is now selling worldwide.
When Arvind Argawala looks out his window these days, he sees the skyline of Singapore. It's a long way from his starting point, a gas station in Calcutta, India. Argawala owns a software company now located in Singapore that produces a program for business accounting called FACT. It was started in 1992 with just over 150,000 US dollars in sales. This year, sales are expected to hit 10 million.
We didn't have the luxury of looking at accounting software from the US. They weren't available in India. And we said, well, why couldn't we just key it in and have everything come out in a jiffy?
What makes fax software different is that accounting is done in real time. Each entry balances all the way across the books. There are few Asian software companies that are successful in the world market. They build most of the hardware here, but very little software comes from Asian programmers.
In the software industry, the world has been doing business with Indians, not with India, which is very apparent, because India never has had the risk-taking ability nor the exposure to develop software packages by itself.
Agarwala hopes to change the perception of Indian software. That's why he moved to Singapore. He's now located within a region of rapid development. In the past, Indian programmers sold their products to outsiders, and few people realized who developed them. Agarwala holds everything close to his chest, like a poker player.
Users get under the what's new problems and so on. We'll be able to click on it and download the file on the World Wide Web, or file an FTP.
To extend his reach, the company created a homepage on the Internet. It is used for both sales and service. The Internet hookup is but yet another example of how companies are now attempting to do business in cyberspace. In the future, it will matter less where your company is located. It could be Singapore or Calcutta. What will matter is, can your customers contact you via the Internet? Tom Mintier, CNN, Singapore.
20 years ago, no one had ever seen one of these before. And now operating a computer mouse is about as easy as writing with a pencil for most of us, but not all of us. You may recall a few months ago, we told you the story about a computer novice who thought that her computer mouse operated on the floor, much like a sewing machine pedal. Well, her confusion actually turned out to be prophetic. Here now is a story about a couple of new mouse designs that let the user get into the art of pointing and clicking, or should I say pointing and kicking. Here's a new twist to the familiar screen pointing device. Look, Ma, no hands. Yes, it's a computer mouse that you can step on. The No Hands mouse from Hunter Digital is an easy way to navigate around your computer screen, keeping your hands free for other things. Plug it into any PC or Macintosh computer, and then step aboard. One footpad is a 360-degree pressure-sensitive device that allows the user precise control over the speed and direction of the cursor. The second pedal is used as a clicking device. The No Hands mouse is based on the Eraserhead pointing device technology found on IBM ThinkPads. Physicians involved in the design process wanted to come up with a device that would eliminate painful carpal tunnel wrist injuries. And now you can safely surf the net properly with your feet. The No Hands mouse is from Hunter Digital, suggested retail price under $120. The Spectrum Ring mouse lets your fingers do the work. It's a wireless mouse that uses ultrasonic and infrared technology to move the cursor around the monitor screen. You wear it on your index finger and operate the buttons with your thumb. A receiver frame on top of your monitor reads the signal. Now, you've got to be careful to keep the mouse within the range of the receiver. That sounds easy, but it takes some practice to get it down, and your thumb and arm can get tired. The best feature of the Ring mouse software is its dual mouse capability. You can either use the Ring mouse or your regular mouse at any time. Another great feature, its 3D capabilities. With any 3D-compatible game or software, you can move the cursor not only up and down or across objects on the screen, but behind them as well. This 3D game and demo are included with the Ring mouse software. The Ring mouse retails for $99 and is available only for Windows or DOS-based systems. And remember, you'll need a free serial port. Now, if you'd like some more information about our show or about all the other things that are happening here at CNN, pay a visit to our newsstand. The CNN interactive homepage on the World Wide Web can be found at www.cnn.com. There are up-to-the-minute headlines and transcripts of many of the stories you see here on the CNN Computer Connection, including links to related websites. And we're adding more information all the time, so check it out. And just ahead here on the CNN Computer Connection, a program to help share the benefits of surfing on the Internet to those who can't afford a computer.
You've got folks that don't have enough money to begin with that are living a disadvantaged life, and then you add another disadvantage on and make them computer illiterate. They've got two strikes against them.
This is Jack. He's learning about airplanes on a PC with an Intel Pentium processor inside. The Pentium processor has the power to make software look, sound, and feel more real, which lets Jack's imagination really take off. The Intel Pentium processor.
The world is full of stories, like this one, about the endangered loggerhead sea turtle. For every 1,000 born, only one will survive the predators, the pollution, the long journey across the Atlantic. This turtle has endured. Now you'll find her in the Azores, or on page 94 of National Geographic magazine. Every month, National Geographic takes you further, where forbidding territory becomes an exhilarating adventure. Unfamiliar people become friendly faces, and distant phenomena explode in front of your eyes. Join the Society for just $25 a year. You'll receive 12 issues of the magazine, and you'll be helping to support important research projects. So call this toll-free number now, or send a check for $25 to this address. And discover fascinating new worlds here at the National Geographic Society.
I'm Lauren Sidney. Next week on Showbiz Today, Pierce Brosnan is Bond, James Bond in GoldenEye. Also, Michael Douglas as the American president. Those stories and much more next week, 5:30 p.m. Eastern on CNN.
TNT counts down to Casino with a night of movies from Scorsese and De Niro. Visit the world of Scorsese and De Niro. Thursday night starting at 8, only on TNT.
For children living in poverty, a trip outside the neighborhood can be a rare treat. But how about a trip anywhere in the world on the internet? CNN's Rusty Dornan introduces us to a new program that lets children and adults explore the highways and the back roads of cyberspace, even if they don't own a computer.
There you go, yeah.
Where Cynthia Lee and her family live in Oakland, California, guns far outnumber computers. Lee tried recently to get a free computer through a gun trade-in program, but was unsuccessful.
My boyfriend wouldn't let me have the gun to trade in the gun for the computer. So we're going to have to work it in, get it some other kind of way.
Everybody see the word home up here? If you click on that, it'll bring you back to this page.
Families like the Lees are now the target of an internet awareness program called Cyber Camp. Here, students, parents, and teachers in inner-city schools cruise the net.
We're looking up California Spanish Mission.
Teacher Felipe Mackay had computers in his classroom, but had few skills and knew next to nothing about the internet. Mackay says it could be a real teaching boost, one to help stimulate kids who rarely see life beyond their own neighborhood.
4th, 5th, 6th graders that don't know what the Golden Gate Bridge looks like, have never seen an ocean. So this way, I think we can provide some access to the world and make them more aware of what's going on.
High-tech have-nots. Some say it points to a dangerous gap in our society, and one that's getting wider.
You've got folks that don't have enough money to begin with that are living a disadvantaged life, and then you add another disadvantage on and make them computer illiterate. They've got 2 strikes against them.
Now it's going over the internet.
For kids, the first time on the internet opens new doors.
You get to talk to people and meet new friends and people.
You can look up old stuff like dinosaurs. We can learn about a lot of it, but we didn't know, and now we can learn.
I'm looking up for a report. That's why I'm looking for elephants. What do they do?
Launched by several high-tech corporations, sponsors hope to take Cyber Camp to inner-city schools nationwide next spring. Rusty Dornan, CNN, Oakland, California.
And that's our show for this week. I'm Brian Nelson. And for all of us here at the CNN Computer Connection, thanks for watching. Be sure to catch us again next week. We'll visit Comdex, that is the world's biggest computer show, and we'll find out what the latest gadgets and gizmos are from the computer industry. And if you're thinking about holiday gift shopping, we're going to give you a great head start with our own high-tech holiday gift guide. We'll see you then.
rainforest hides a killer. Can science stop it before it kills hundreds? Again, on the next CNN Presents Sunday.
Ever have a bulb pop? And then break? Try this. Now the editors of Reader's Digest present the Family Handyman Helpful Hints, a new book with over 2,000 household hints. Hints like how the pros do a perfect caulking job, how to remove masking tape without spoiling your paint. Just use a hairdryer. You'll learn tricks of the trade, why you should use vegetable oil to clean up after painting, why you should keep postage stamps in the freezer, even a simple ingredient you can add to ordinary flat wall paint so that the dirt wipes right off.
Now, preview the Family Handyman Helpful Hints for 7 days free. Just call 1-800-257-1257. Keep it and pay 3 installments of $8.33 each. Or return it and owe us nothing. Just call 1-800-257-1257 now.
This is CNN.
I'm Porter Anderson with this look at our top stories. A government shutdown early Tuesday looks more likely by the minute, and both the White House and Republican leaders are blaming each other. The Republican-dominated House passed emergency legislation to keep the government from running out of money and raise the debt ceiling. But the president promises a veto because one provision includes an increase in Medicare payments. Efforts at compromise got nowhere Saturday.
We called the president at our initiative to suggest that we ought to sit down and talk to avoid the government closing or to avoid any problems with the debt ceiling. And frankly, the conversation was entirely one-sided and had nothing of practical usefulness. It was, I think, literally the president just setting up a press conference for political purposes.
Budget experts say if the shutdown is brief, most Americans won't feel it because critical services will continue operating. If money runs out in Washington, how will you pay the price? Mail will still be delivered. Air traffic controllers will stay on the job, as will meat inspectors. But the longer it drags on, the harder it will hit.
More and more people would notice as it went on. They would notice in a lot of different ways. They would notice because they were personally affected or because their community was affected. If federal employees are not being paid in an area where there are a lot of them, say around a military base or a federal installation, the grocery stores and the cleaners and the regular establishments are going to feel that problem.
Only one government shutdown has lasted more than a day. A grateful nation has saluted its veterans. President Clinton dedicated the site of the first national memorial for those who fought in World War II. Earlier, he honored all veterans at Arlington National Cemetery. More than 30,000 veterans marched through the heart of Manhattan in what was called the Nation's Parade 50 years after World War II. And raw, windy weather could not dampen the enthusiasm of the people of Atlanta on Veterans Day 1995. NASA will try again to launch the Space Shuttle Atlantis just a few hours from now. Atlantis is set for an 8-day mission aimed at docking with the Russian space station Mir. A Saturday launch was scrubbed because of bad weather at emergency landing sites in Spain and Morocco. CNN live coverage of the launch is to begin at 7:30 a.m. Eastern, 4:30 Pacific. Here's a record to toast. Sotheby's in New York auctioned off a 130-year-old bottle of wine Saturday for more than $27,000. That works out to $862 a glass for the double magnum of red wine from the Chateau Lafite winery in France. The new owner of the wine and the U.S. record was not identified. That's all for this news update. I'm Porter Anderson. CNN Weekend now continues.
Today on Your Health, a revolution. Hungary discarded a half-century of communism. The political shift was dramatic. The economic about-face, wrenching. But the life expectancy of Hungarians has been dropping. In the experience of Hungary, there are lessons of how our world, our environment, affect our health. Welcome to Budapest, capital of Hungary, and our special look at health concerns that are both local and universal. I'm Andrew Holtz. Change. While relieving old problems, it can create new pressures. And in Hungary, change is the order of the day. As political freedom surged forward, Hungary's economy stumbled. The gross domestic product plummeted 20%.
This drop can be compared with the Great Depression in Western Europe.
They have lost not only income security and job security, but also housing security, the security of being able to pay for light, electricity, medication, and whatever.
Hungarians feel it in the markets.
We have an apartment, and the maintenance costs are very high. So our basic point is that it should be cheap. For example, there is one kind of meat that we simply cannot afford.
And fears for the future hit home.
I don't know why I could be optimistic. I don't find any reason.
Signs of new Western investment obscure Hungarian unemployment that's gone from virtually non-existent to topping 10%. Health experts say it takes a toll.
We have research and statistics that those are unemployed, and especially who are unemployed on a long-term basis because they are unskilled and it's difficult to find a working place. They are much more endangered for certain diseases, like those diseases which have a psychosocial origin.
Stress may aggravate heart problems or weaken the immune system, researchers say. And even where access to health care is equal, poverty increases the risk of many ailments. One symptom is seen firsthand by police, who must respond to a dramatic increase in violent crime. The police are here investigating a report of a robbery. And it seems that since Hungarian society opened up, well, freedom has brought with it more crime against both property and people. From the robbery scene, police went to the hospital where two victims were getting treatment for their beating injuries.
In previous years, in pre-1990 years, you had an average of 200 murders a year, which has since gone up to about 300.
Criminologists say poverty spurs crime. Hungary has also seen more organized crime. Illegal guns are more common, some sold by former Soviet soldiers as they went home. And criminologists say Western movies and television shows may make violence more acceptable to some people. Welcome, Mike. Here we go. No kidding. A poll taken after a Miami Vice episode aired here found well-to-do Budapest residents identified with the show's victims and detectives. That was not so in a poorer neighborhood.
Whereas the people, a part of the people living in the slum areas, identified more with the criminals and regarded them as acceptable models.
Prostitution is no longer a serious offense in Hungary. Health experts worry about an increase in sexually transmitted diseases, including AIDS. Nevertheless, experts point out that although crime has almost tripled, Hungary's crime rate is still lower than that of either neighboring Austria or southern Germany. Sociologist Zsuzsa Fergi says the fruits of political change have not been as sweet as Hungarians expected. Out of every 5 people, living standards are better for only 1 and worse for 3.
These affects people's behavior, people's optimism, and also their health and their mental health.
Fewer Hungarians are making big changes in their lives.
The level of marriages, the rate of marriages has gone down, also the rate of divorce. People divorce less and marry less and have much, much less children.
Hungarians seem to be hunkering down in difficult times. Ava, who asked her last name not be used, lives with her 2 sons in the same house as before the political changes. But she has a new job and says she must now work much harder.
In the late regime, I hated it very much. But after the changing of the ruling system, I realized that day by day I have to struggle much more for the living.
Her older son, Victor, works with his father in home building, facing new international competition.
It's hard. It's very hard because we are a small company and bigger German companies take the market in Hungary.
Younger son, Balázs, studies hard to prepare for a future full of uncertainty.
We were very, very happy about that the change already has taken place and that all the lies are over. We have to learn other kind of economic policy and other kind of things. But it seems very long and very hard.
Unemployment, uncertainty, and poverty all threaten health. But work and industry also can pose dangers. When your health returns from Hungary, efforts to improve workplace safety and clean up toxic pollution.
Stay tuned to learn how you can get a free copy of the 122-page Insider's Guide to Mutual Funds. It's the complete how-to guide on investing, identifying risk, and building your mutual fund portfolio.
Business. Some people get it, some don't. Gene Beard gets it.
It provides super strategic insights to help me make better business decisions.
Robert T. Blakely gets it.
It gave me insights into these markets and these issues and helped me get my job done day in and day out.
Nina Henderson gets it.
You get a flavor for different operations in different consumer environments and different business climates around the world.
Informed people at all levels of business get it. They get Business Week. The world's leading business magazine combines important, timely information with award-winning analysis. It goes beyond news, providing insight and intelligence. And now is the best time for you to get it too, because now you can save on Business Week and get the 122-page Insider's Guide to Mutual Funds free. This comprehensive guide to investing was created by Business Week's award-winning editorial staff. Their expertise will help you build and monitor your own portfolio with an investment strategy that works. And if you call right now, you can get 28 issues of Business Week for only $25.95. That's more than $56 off the newsstand price. So call now and get the Insider's Guide to Mutual Funds absolutely free and almost 69% off 28 issues of Business Week. The savings don't stop there. You'll save time, too. No more wading through daily journals. Business Week focuses on key issues that shape today's global markets and businesses with articles that provide the kind of insight real success is built upon. Call now that you can get the Insider's Guide to Mutual Funds absolutely free and almost 69% off the cover price.
Business Week is a must-read.
It's an analysis, it's an insight, it's a perspective.
Business Week is a great business magazine.
Business Week. If you get it, you get it.
This week in medical news, the first of a new class of anti-AIDS drugs called protease inhibitors. An advisory panel recommends Sequenavir be approved for general use in combination with other AIDS treatments. The Food and Drug Administration usually follows the advice of its expert panels. There are new figures on the number of U.S. children who lack health insurance. By the time they are 3, a quarter of U.S. children have been without coverage for at least a month. About half of that group went uncovered for 6 months or longer. And finally, smile for a birthday picture. An X-ray, that is. X-ray photography turns 100 this week. And that's the Medical Newsreel. We're looking at some of the health challenges facing the people of Hungary. And right now we're in a flour mill near Budapest where parts of the plant are over 100 years old. And yet right next to it is brand new machinery. This nation is trying to make changes in the workplace very rapidly and dramatically, changes that in many Western nations evolved over decades. Built during the Habsburg monarchy, the Elshepesti mill is being reshaped by the free market revolution.
The old system with these transmission belts was very dangerous, and by replacing these old machines with new ones, we've managed to eliminate many sources of danger.
And since the government no longer controls industry, government labor inspectors now have new freedom to enforce safety standards without worrying about conflicts with other ministries. And at least at this plant, the inspector says he has a good relationship with management.
There was a time when we argued a lot, had to give out fines, but lately there is no need for that.
But making a long-term investment in safety can be tough when both employers and employees are focused on short-term survival.
Economic conditions in Hungary are very difficult. And that means that on one hand, employers lack investment money. On the other hand, employees are afraid of losing their jobs.
Fortunately, many safety improvements require only simple maintenance, replacing equipment covers or other inexpensive adjustments.
In my experience, in about 70 or 80% of the cases, safety and health doesn't really need huge investments at the workplace. What it needs is awareness.
Industrial society has other health effects.
The most important problem is, if I just could feature one, is air pollution, especially among the major cities.
Many older cars here burn a smoky gas-oil mix, like some lawnmowers. As they're replaced by newer vehicles, air quality here should improve. Katalin Zili, Parliamentary State Secretary for the Environment Ministry, says Hungary is enacting new environmental laws and joining international agreements to raise standards to those of Western Europe. The air is cleaner now, in part because of economic hard times that have idled many factories. But recession is no solution, so there's a push to replace coal and diesel fuel with natural gas. Then there's toxic waste. For decades, tank cars full of kerosene unloaded here. The cars and the pipeline to storage tanks leaked. And just across the track stand homes with water wells.
Yes, the people noticed the drinking water getting progressively smellier. With time, kerosene appeared in the wells.
So people in these homes are actually pulling kerosene out of their water wells?
Exactly.
Years ago, residents here switched to bottled water. Though officials say they've seen no health problems, kerosene contains chemicals that can cause cancer. Now the polluted groundwater is being pumped up and cleaned. The contaminated zone is shrinking.
This grassy field was watered with water that had kerosene in it before, and you can see how green the grass is.
Yet only after years of neglect is action being taken to clean up a poisonous heritage from the old regime.
Just outside of Budapest, this statue garden is, in a way, a graveyard of images from the communist past. With all the political and economic turmoil in Hungary, it's sometimes hard to pay attention to longer-term health threats that don't affect life today. But some campaigners are trying to change all that. More when Your Health continues from Hungary.
You could run 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, and still not get as fit as you'd become by working out a few minutes a week on the Soloflex muscle machine. That's because the Soloflex gives you all the benefits of free weights, safely. And with just a few workouts a week, you can add strength, energy, and literally years to your life. Call now for a free brochure and video. And get on the road to real fitness.
If you're over 50, you can get needed life insurance protection from Colonial Penn. It's only $6.95 per unit per month. Benefits won't decrease simply because you grow older, and your rates won't increase. If you're over 50, you cannot be turned down. So call now.
Call toll-free 1-800-257-1257. We'll send detailed information and this guide to Social Security absolutely free. Call 1-800-257-1257. There's no obligation. 1-800-257-1257.
America's Kitchen. The most acclaimed chefs. The most sought-after recipes. Only one kitchen in the world could boast so much talent and variety. America's Kitchen. Now in bookstores everywhere.
Monday on CNN Talkback Live. Is the right wing radical? And who are they? The Christian Coalition, militias, or even Newt Gingrich? Tell us what you think. Monday, 3 Eastern on CNN.
We're next to the Matyas Church in Budapest. Originally begun in the 13th century, it's now in the neo-Gothic style. Hungary has a rich history with grand cathedrals and castles, but the people here often lead lifestyles that make health experts shudder.
A man in Hungary, like this man at a Budapest market, has a shorter life expectancy than men anywhere else on Earth outside of sub-Saharan Africa. Look at what this man is doing, buying a piece of what's basically fat to eat and smoking a cigarette. How we live affects how long we live, and Hungary is an unfortunate example.
Excessive smoking, alcohol intake, unfavorable trends in nutrition, overwork to compensate loss in the living standards, and so on and so on.
2 out of 3 Hungarian men smoke, with deadly results.
It's a real disaster. When you've got a little country, 10 million population, probably about more than 2 million of those 10 million are going to be killed by tobacco the way things are going now.
In a Budapest cancer hospital, a 38-year-old man is recovering from surgery. His doctor lays the blame squarely on cigarettes.
We have had to take his whole voice box out by an operation. That means that he will be never able to speak on a voice as normally humans speak.
For the rest of his life, he'll breathe through a hole in his throat. According to health researchers, tobacco accounts for half the difference in life expectancy between Western Europe and Hungary. It's a vital deficit Hungary may be battling for decades. Smoking is still considered cool in Hungarian high schools. One teen says his parents smoke, smoking is all around him, so he smokes. Anti-smoking efforts are in their infancy in Hungary. Activists can only dream about broad limits on smoking in public.
At this moment, we'd be happy with the teachers and educators in these buildings not smoking. And also, if we could achieve that, smoking would be banned in institutions and clinics and hospitals where you get patients.
Tobacco executives don't seem worried.
There are increasingly public moves to talk about smoking, and some people object to smoking. They're entitled to their point of view. I don't see it having any great effect at the moment, I must say.
The Hungarian government sold its cigarette factories to multinational corporations and now collects $440 million a year in cigarette taxes. Health officials say those revenues obscure the costs of tobacco. The traditional Hungarian diet, high in fat, low on fruits and vegetables, also goes against the advice of health experts.
There's plenty of fruits and vegetables at this market, but the catch is, before you can eat it, well, you need plenty of money.
Now these prices are leaping to some degree. It's unbelievable, because they will reach the price of southern fruit, which was usually twice the price of Hungarian fruit.
Some health officials suggest reducing taxes on fruits and vegetables, along with other measures, to guide the next generation of Hungarians toward healthier diets. And finally, while health officials say alcohol consumption is not going up, it's always been very high, directly causing problems such as liver disease, while contributing to rates of crime, domestic violence, and suicide.
Beyond research centers, laboratories, or clinics, there's an experiment in progress here. Some lessons from Hungary when your health returns.
The most precious thing is time. Time with my kids. Time to have fun together. But when I'm irregular, it's not much fun for me or my kids. I can't take a harsh chemical laxative and then get trapped on one of those rides. So I take Metamucil natural fiber therapy. Works with my body safely, gently. Gives me the fiber I need to get regular and stay regular. Thanks to Metamucil, I'm having as much fun as my kids. Sometimes more.
Metamucil, the natural choice for regularity.
You know you need life insurance to protect the family you love. We know the way things go, it's hard to find the money to pay the premiums. You know you've got to do it, and we know we can help you. So if you need $25,000 to $1 million or more of quality life insurance protection, call today, 800-25